Wow, who'd have thunk it? University of Georgia will play University of Alabama, two SEC teams, two SEC universities for the national championship. And as I graduated the University of California, Berkeley, who sat on the alumni board for 7 years, went to grad school there, undergrad, Texas, Arlington. Berkeley was the best 2 academic years of my life, but that's another story. I have to say, I'm really concerned that the Pac-12 won 1 of 9 bowl games. This is a lesson for how the Pac-12 should change moving ahead. Another story yet again. Back to my main point. Because of the unique nature of this game, first of all, Georgia, arguably the home team, playing at the new Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta against Alabama, which even if they're considered the home team by the SEC, I'm not sure how that is been designated yet, everyone will look at them as the visiting team because in reality they are. Georgia will come into that game, and I don't care how tired some people say they may be after the Rose Bowl and having to travel. Look, I make that journey from the West Coast back to Atlanta twice a month, sometimes 3 or 4 times a month. They'll be just fine doing it once. They'll forget about it the minute they get off the plane, and by the time Monday, January 8th rolls around, the Georgia Bulldogs will be so jacked up sky high, it will not be funny. I mean, how often do you get the opportunity to play for the national championship game in your state at the newest sports facility, major sports facility constructed in your state, in the major city in your state, which just so happens to be the unofficial capital of the South? That doesn't happen every day, and arguably it happens once a lifetime. This is that once a lifetime. That's the intangible that I believe will help Georgia beat Alabama. Structurally, what Georgia has to avoid is an over-reliance on short passing, because the Alabama Crimson Tide defense is excellent at blunting short passes, and even if the pass is completed, don't expect a lot of yards after the catch. If you can sustain a great pass blocking episode, you can throw downfield against them. If you can't, you have to roll out. So Georgia's going to have to come in with a more creative offensive approach than they presented against Oklahoma to beat Alabama. Not just because of the fact that Alabama has excellent athletes on defense, but also because Kirby Smart, the head coach of Georgia, and Nick Saban, the head coach of Alabama, know each other. Kirby Smart knows the Alabama defense like the back of his hand. He was there only 2 years ago, really less than that. Nick Saban essentially taught Kirby Smart a lot of what Kirby Smart knows. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, but I can't, in my mind's eye, see Alabama winning that game. I can see Georgia winning it. I just have to boil it right down to what my gut says, and I offer that because there are, again, so many intangibles to this contest. So there it is. Can I predict the score? Well, it won't be a blowout, because even if Alabama happens to fall behind dramatically, which I can't see, they have the scheme that allows them to march back into contention to tie the game. The defense will be the the difference will be the Georgia running game with Sonny Michel and Nick Chubb. That will be the difference in this game. And with the cool, calm leadership of Jake Fromm at quarterback. Can't say enough about the freshman. he had his game at the Rose Bowl. That was his major growing up period, because there were a number of instances in the Rose Bowl game where he could have just made a bonehead error, fallen apart. He didn't. He was poised, cool. Joe Montana-like down the stretch. Very impressive. And remember, Georgia was down by 17. So they've got to believe if they can come from 17 down to beat the #2 team in the country, imagine what they can do with a team that thinks it's #1. Subscribe to Zenny62 and stay tuned for more on my live stream tomorrow. My guest will be AP Statham, who covers the Alabama Crimson Tide. We should have a fantastic conversation. I know we will. Okay, see ya.